on Sunday with Championship Sunday, the lower bracket final, and the grand final. Gambit and Secret already waiting to see who gets through that lower bracket. They'll be in the upper bracket final tomorrow evening. Let's turn our attention to that final game then of the series, and our last series of the night. Kyle, Capitalist, and the Has already willing and able to bring you their thoughts as the three. Alan, we'll start with you. What have you found out? What have you learned from the first two games?
I had to check this a couple times because I thought maybe our parser was broken. It turns out that that is only the second time in Pro Dota 2 history that Pugna has done 0 building damage.
Yeah, we were convinced that the thing was broken. That can't be right.
No, I'm sorry. It's the first. I'm sorry. I just realized it is the first. Yeah.
What did you think was the other?
I thought that this, but I had to look it up at 30 minutes to check because the endgame stats were broken. But yeah, the only other one that had 0 at 30 minutes did some later.
So let me clarify. It's the only time in pro history
that Pugna has had zero building damage.
0 damage
in a game.
In a pro game.
Yeah.
God damn, Fod is an impressive player. Breaking records this late into his career.
It's really quite incredible. You think about it, he's been a staple of the scene since
guys. No, I'm sorry.
I'm not entirely sure this is a good record, but whatever. Whatever. What have you learned, Kyle, from the first two games that will give you insight and knowledge to be able to drop bombs in Game 3?
It feels, we were just talking about space travel.
We were.
Now, the thing that's interesting about space travel, there's no, it's a vacuum, right? So something that is in motion will continue that motion, all right? It's like both teams end up in a race, right? And one gets going faster than the other, and there's no way to slow it down. You can't stop it. And at a certain point, you've got such a huge lead, it's easy to take the win.
I'm with you. These two, not so much.
So
do you know when you go into these little Professor Kyle moments on panels, and I'm home?
So turned on.
We'll just go with that. We'll go with that.
I've got a paper coming up soon.
I like it.
Tell
me now.
Cat. A paper.
Cat.
Yes?
What have you learned from the first two games?
I've learned more about Alan than I needed to know.
It's getting great.
I've learned Troll is a pretty crazy hero.
Yeah.
So one of the things
very good for OG
we
as well.
referenced, but we didn't actually talk about fully, was actually no. Falk brought it up, so the viewers should know. It's like, but the troll matchups, like you just can't beat it. Like I was thinking, like, oh, Pugna should be able to do better against it, and then like Decrepify, he gets Decrepified, he just throws axes anyway. You shouldn't be able to attack, but he does it anyway. He can do it.
Nyx for OG.
Right, I'm just still tilted by the Sven pick.
Sven's back.
1 in 13, but we have a second phase. Me.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, we're still waiting for one. We're still waiting for one.
5 seconds
let's talk about the Sven. Well, we've got it.
And I'm totally on board with Nyx for OG, by the way.
It has a 7.14% win rate here. Now, I'm not normally one of these people that goes, "Oh, that's bad, that's terrible," because it's a support, and that's not always the right stat to think about when it comes to supports, because they don't necessarily always have a big impact on the game. So, but when
I'll take that title back, thanks.
When it comes to 14 games, though, there's got to be something wrong. 7% win rate?
Well, that's where stats
don't
lie. You know, at a certain point, you probably should listen to them a little bit. Don't buy into them completely.
Sure.
But I remember...
I'll take that.
I remember analyzing. I looked through. There was some time I was still playing at the time, and I went through like 6 months of matches and scrims. And I can't remember the damn hero, but I realized like, holy shit, we've won, like we've lost every game we've picked it. We were like 0-11. I was like, that's it.
You only just realized
it doesn't work.
I heard Alan. Is that when Complexity picked up Alan?
Was that the time also that you had gone through all these things and you lost to Void like 10 straight times or something?
Phoenix
so you
Void, something like that.
You banned Void every game?
Yeah, it turns out that when your whole strategy is built around like death balling and team fighting, and you have players that have a propensity for throwing and perhaps grouping up in areas they shouldn't.
And then buying back when they shouldn't.
Massive AoE abilities that, yeah, they're bad for you. They're bad for your health.
Dude. So, Lesh Sven, Cap. Yay, nay?
Protects the Lesh.
Yeah.
It's good-ish against Troll. I don't know. I mean, like, I I saw what happened to the Warcry, and I thought that Sven was going to be a worse hero, and people kept on picking it up, and it seemed okay initially, and then it's just continued to fall in win rate.
Fallen off. First round bans from Ninjas Pyjamas, all aimed at No Tail again, as we expected.
Which is,
Chen, Ench, obviously. They obviously then thought that the Prophet was more hindrance to them than the Troll.
You've got to be thinking about Ember Spirit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe that's still untouched.
I think Ember could.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I
it
agree.
goes in this ban section. Do they not both consider it in the second phase ban?
You like it more on OG than
Yeah, for sure.
you don't want to play Ember.
It's so good for OG because it's a support Sven. You have you just can't play against Ember properly.
I mean, safe lane Ember mid troll sounds like OG win to me.
Yeah. So this is an Ember ban now.
I think it's got to be.
I think NiP are looking at OD.
But against Nyx.
You know, at some point, look, I understand. At some point, though,
10 seconds
you didn't ban it.
Yes. It's hard counter.
5 seconds remaining.
You don't...
Look, if Nyx hard counters OD, if you're going to use the hard counter terminology, if Nyx hard counters OD, then Nyx hard counters a whole lot of heroes, which is not necessarily wrong, but I don't think you can let one hero scare you entirely off something.
Sure.
I think.
All right, fair enough.
I would not pick.
Why do you ban Pugna then?
Because you want to deny Pugna. OD is easier to game plan for. When you look at the OG lineup, Pugna fits into it a lot better.
Okay.
Like, OD's too slow. Think about how OG just won that game. I don't think that they're going to go back to this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the same thing why they're banning Lycan.
Lycan I am on board with.
Yeah.
It's like, Leshrac is a little bit exposed to a Lycan, but I think I'm much more afraid of OG just deathballing me. I mean, they tried to do it game 1. They successfully did it game 2.
And I think both of these OG second phase bans are really strongly designed around protecting that troll mid.
Agreed. And I think the Kunkka ban specifically I love, because we've talked about like Kunkka versus troll, Kunkka versus Nyx. It's so good at just blowing their you get their spells for an 8-second X.
You're the one that's talked to me about. Does Troll have matchups right now that he really loses, not only in lane, but as the game goes on? And Kunkka is one of those heroes for that reason. I think that punishes Troll.
PPD ban?
Yep.
I just want to throw in, because I know Alan likes streaks. ILTW has won 7 games from Troll. 10 of the last 12 games that OG have played it.
Again, but that's where Kyle's point from the last segment comes back, and I love this point, that Troll and Ember are so good for OG precisely because the overlap between ILTW and Topson's hero pools is not very large, but those two heroes, 10 straight games.
Dude, it's Mag Ember. It's Mag Ember. It's like 100%, and it's just great. Some sauce.
I mean, this is strong from OG, isn't it? This is exactly what they're good at right now.
Oh, I love that choice, though. We were talking about that in the previous series. Yeah. But they immediately Ember anyway, as expected. Yeah. But Slark actually can shut this down because the leash prevents Ember from getting remnants off.
It does, but it doesn't.
What does it deal with the troll?
But it doesn't keep the Slark alive.
Hang on. Yeah, but the Slark, so you can get rid of the RP, the Carapace stun, the Nyx stun, and the troll mischance.
But you can't do it all. You can't do it all. I know you can do individually, but you can't deal with all of it at the same time.
Exactly. It takes time. And that goes back to, I really love what Kevin went over again, because he demonstrated that OG's concept, their strategy, their understanding of how they want to play the patch is sound. But you still need the tools with which to execute and win the game.
They lose one of those, maybe two.
I buy that Slark does a lot against OG's heroes, but if you look at how Secret brought Slark back into the meta at Chongqing, they brought Slark back into the meta because we're having long, drawn-out fights with tanky and relatively immobile heroes. So Slark gets to move around the fights freely and build up those Essence Shift stacks. Tell me how against this OG lineup does Slark build Essence Shift stacks in fights?
It's a very good point. It's more that he comes online at a point and has that matchup advantage. I can agree with you, and it goes back to the OG concept where
makes me so nervous.
They do best when they have the ability to apply pressure early and threaten structures. OG's lineups need to be able and willing to end a game at 20 to 25 minutes if you give them the opportunity to do so.
Or at least take a really big fight that's game-changing.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't... This is a bit different. This is more about skirmishing, team fights, and just superior map movement, which so far I think they've had. It's just a question of whether they can capitalize on that advantage to kill enough buildings to stay ahead.
Hunting with that kind of lineup?
Yes and no. You can kind of let the game happen naturally because the huge benefit of Mag, even after I think 3 consecutive nerfs, you give Ember and Troll a significant farming advantage, a farm speed advantage in comparison to the NiP lineup.
Here's the other thing. The other thing I worry about is the heroes that I want to pick now as NiP that are going to lane well against Troll and or Ember are things like Monkey King or Ursa, and that gives you 3 melee cores into a Mag. Like, I just don't... I think that I think we all saw, and Peter, $100 on the line anytime, saw this Mag Ember second phase coming a mile away.
Absolutely.
And
just as OG saw the Slug.
I don't think you set your draft up to deal with it well.
I agree with that point.
They literally locked the Ember in.
That's what I was going to say.
Hey!
It's a good line game,
That's a good call.
I
think that they'll Oracle instead, but I agree with you.
I love the Oracle. Although that does leave you with
all you need, look at the damage output.
It leaves you with what? No tail on Nyx?
Look at the NiP lineup and think, how do they do damage to somebody that gets Fate Edict? Because right now,
they do not.
It's very single target, next to no team fight. I think if you're OG, just give me something that extends my hero's lifespan. Keep my squad alive, because all of OG, you have these cheap abilities. You can always stay in fights. It's really just the RP you're playing around.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, I like that a lot better. And you have to be really careful, because the same thing that Oracle argues for with the saves, that draws out the fight and lets Slark get his stacks off. I like this Jakiro pick because, first of all, I think it gives you increased tower push, and it gives you the ability to end these fights.
Yep, I agree. It accelerates the game speed you can play with. They're giggling a lot on the side of...
This is a very nice OG draft.
I mean, I disagree with that. I feel like if you wanted a support that gave you more pushing power, then you Shadow Shaman.
No, team fight though. You needed some kind of AoE team fight.
There are other supports for better team fight left.
The thing is, the max Ice Path build is so sick when you have heroes like Jakiro. Like Ember Spirit, you just have such a high reach. Mag never needs to commit. It's just going to be slight chains, Ice Path, Nyx on the outskirts, Troll running
Viper's
in.
good. Viper is really good.
RP.
I think that the idea is that if you can get Slark in RP, even if he's Shadow Dance, Jakiro can still deal damage. I do like the Viper pick a whole lot, but I think this OG draft concept is...
Yep, I would agree. I think both squads have something. It should be hopefully the best game of the series. I think NiP's lineup at least has some staying power.
Can Viper crush mid against Troll? Can Viper like crush
nothing
mid?
Crushes Troll. I actually think Troll is one of the best matchups against Viper, because you can threaten kills on him by just charging uphill with Mischance active.
Because I think NiP's win condition here is Viper crushing mid, and I don't. Cap.
Then they go aggro. They put like Slark into the side lane Ember Spirit or something. That'll ruin it. So
to be fair, Lesh is an accelerator as well. Like a lot of this is going to come down to the lanes, because both teams have the ability to capitalize on lane wins into just creating that advantage we've seen executed now in both of the series. It's very tough to come from behind if your lanes lose. Leshrac, especially if you itemize properly, could just take over this game. Slark as well. You never know.
In theory, Cap, we shouldn't get a one-sided game like we did in Game 1 and Game 2. This should be a clash, shouldn't it?
I actually think it's going to be a one-sided game. I'm not going to say which team I think it is, but I think this, we've seen the fact that it all comes from the laning phase, where this matchup is going to be, whether or not we're going to get the Troll versus the Viper, how that goes, whether or not they're going to be able to just shut down a side lane Ember Spirit. I think it all kind of stems from that.
Both lineups, snowball potential. Buckle up.
All right. There it is then. Could be a roller coaster ride. Buckle up, as Nahaz said, as we head into game number 3.
What did you expect? What did you expect?
Prepare for battle.
Game 3 now, the deciding match between NiP and OG, ready to go. As we already heard it from the panel, right? This game, it definitely has potential to have more clashing. It's unlikely that we're going to see as much of a one-sided affair, right, as Game 1 and Game 2 were.
Definitely. And we already see a heart being drawn on the map. Who was that? A smoke coming out from OG.
So let's talk about these lineups. OG this time having the sort of the power of the Magnus, the way to sort of combine the success that they have with TI with what they found works well with ILTW. His troll has been very, very hot here at LAN, and now it's going to have the backup of Seb's Magnus. So there's going to be some strong stuff from OG.
Yeah, that deep ward they place. You don't really see that ward placed this early on, but they're really trying to get those leads.
And what is the sort of the big one that OG is trying to avoid or trying to force?
I think they want to be able to put pressure onto the Slark. Just get their aggro lane versus him, just make sure he doesn't get, he's able to just dodge away. Because they can put tons of pressure on him if they do have like this troll aggro lane versus Slark. Like Slark, his problem is his laning phase.
Yeah. No, it's almost sort of going to be a little similar to what I was playing before, obviously the Void. It's just this hero that doesn't do too much early on, and arguably the Slark does even less than the Void until he has sort of those first 2 items.
Ooh, Seb. He's eating that level 1 edict.
Bottom lane, PPD. They're going to be chased down here by the 3 of them. Jarex, N0tail, and ILTW. They'll find first blood with that. They'll give him the tips as well. Both the previous games we saw NiP take first blood, but this time around, OG will be the first to strike.
I think he bought a branch. That's why he stopped moving right before he died. So he didn't actually lose gold, but he still gives it.
Yeah, you see those
immediately.
Yeah,
Troll
straight up to
Slark. Right in front of Slark. They don't want the Slark versus the Magnus. They want the Troll versus that Slark.
Dude, we did see sort of musical lanes last time with both teams reacting, so we'll see if NiP do then switch their lanes to make sure that OG don't get the favorable matchup that they want, and that they can somehow secure farm for a somewhere on the map. Yeah. As that top lane is certainly not going to be easy, as you say, with not just the 2 of them being there, but now the support movement as well. And N0tail, he's going to be around, ready to just spam out the dual breath onto the 2 of them, and even potentially threaten PPD as well. If PPD comes close again, they get the slows off. N0tail's looking for the body blocks. PPD's trying to run, but they're cutting through the trees, and they'll find him again. A second death for PPD. OG keeping on top of the bank.
He got super blocked there. As soon as he comes back, now he has to walk his way all the way up there and bottom. Eric's starting just grabbing the waves. Seb is able to get something out of that. Mid lane, pretty even at the moment. I was wondering how this matchup's going to go now that with the new Nether Toxin, because you actually kill the Flame Guard pretty quickly. There's a level 2 Flame Guard now, but even if he does walk up to the wave, he's going to lose it very fast.
Sags continue to chase Jared. First point Diabolic. He didn't know sort of control. It's just going to be chasing and trying to harass him. Fine.
33
regen as the Nyx assassin.
Running over to try to cut him off. They're popping the edict early. They actually get the stun. They will, but maybe they turn for Seb instead.
Yeah, you don't want to race up to the high ground. They'll look towards Seb instead, as you say, but the skewer's going to be there, dragging Sax in underneath the tower. Just had the war cry, which saved him from a couple of the hits of the tower.
Jarex brings the whole creep wave on. That was the important thing.
Yeah, that's a big pull for OG, grabbing all of these. Back for the 2 of them to take, for Seb, of course, to get the farm from safely underneath this tower with a couple of range creeps and a hell of a lot of melee in there too.
He even, while passing across the mid lane, even throws a casual empower onto Thompson just to help him out a little bit in that mid lane. No, you're doing just fine anyway on the Ember with that bottle and just spamming the Slight actually to harass Vada constantly.
Top lane again, PPD, he's being chased, the stun will be thrown out onto ILTW, and Brain Sap is also there to give PPD that extra bit of health to stop OG from diving more. And of course, worth noting, they have now made that lane swap on the side lanes, taking Ace down to the bottom lane, as of course that top lane was not where what this Slark wanted to be farming. Better job finding something down bottom. Saxer again, trying to chase down Jarex. Jarex not going to be two-phased by the level 1 Leshrac, as he can stick to finding farm around that side pull.
Yeah, they gotta make sure to get their levels on these supports. And Sox is level 1, Bane just hit level 2, even 33 also on the Sven. Just hit level. Their side. But yeah, their supports. Level 1.
Gonna try making some sort of plays down bottom. Saxer to hit that level 2 on Lesh. Possible at the moment for them to get active at all. Top, stun, thrown out casually onto ILTW.
Sox actually keeps wanting to pull the lane, but Jarex is just dragging the creep wave every single time and not actually allowing him to. So Sox is actually just gonna leave, make his way toward top to try to put the pressure on. He feels like it's just gonna be better that way.
Look at this Vada. He's chasing down top, so PPD is there with the block off to the side. Look at the body blocks, making sure Thompson can't get up to the high ground. He'll try and run away. Cannot escape, so NiP getting themselves their first bit of action on the board. They'll look towards N0tail top, Diabolic Edict, set up there for the stun. Still not enough damage at the moment between these two heroes.
Sox is still level 1, nearly 5 minutes in. He's going to drag the creep wave, and now PPD comes up here too, so they have this tri-lane since they feel like Slark's going to be able to get stuff down here since they're just manipulating creeps. Creep equilibrium on the side of OG. But they want to put the pressure on and try to slow down the troll, who is having free fall.
Mid lane CS continuing to be pretty much even between the two. Obviously the slightly favourable play for NiP being that they were able to kill off Thompson, but still the farm's going to be very close in this middle lane.
3 points in that slight. The new build that we've been seeing, more points in it.
Top. Onto RTW. RTW comes out of the sleep. PPD will be able to secure the bounty route. OG will not chase for the kill. They'll keep control of the 2 bounties top. At the same time down bottom, Jax is able to secure the 2 bounty runes for OG.
The other thing I was always like looking at least, even though we haven't seen too many of the Vipers, is pointing out if he's actually getting any stacks. And Fada actually was salving and stepped up a bit too far and got his salve broken by Thompson there.
That is unfortunate for Fada, especially with this gank coming in as well. Jax is looking with the setup, has the stun, allows Thompson to close the gap. Fada will try and turn, poke the mango, looking for the Viper strike. He gets it off. So they'll kill off Fada. He's able to bring down Thompson with him. Of course, Thompson getting the kill first, being able to benefit from that XP as well as the gold before he dies.
Such a quick move by Jax too. It's like nighttime, they just burn the south, he's already on his way over there to make the play. He does have a stack on the Viper, he only has 1 on that meat, but that's what we've been seeing, at least when we saw in mid one later originally. He did stack and we should farm that one too. Just to enable himself even more.
Some aggression up top, as the TP is going to come in from Fada straight towards the top lane, as they are going to look to punish this troll. RTW for coming in a little too deep underneath the tier 1 tower, playing a little too aggressively as Fada respawns and is able to get up there, down bottom in the river. PPD trying to hold them back. The sleep's going to be taken on Thompson, so Thompson is allowed to continue to chase. He's got the remnants, jumps in, he has a slide available if he needs it, he doesn't even have to, as Thompson will find PPD back up top. Saxon going at it against No-Tail. Diabolic Edict starting to work with Jakiro down, as No-Tail will manage to deny himself to the neutral creeps. But the action starting to kick off already as we can see in this third game. Both teams being a little bit more mobile around the map with their support play.
Very, very even. The Slark is getting absolute free farm though, which is incredibly important. He's going to even be queuing up that Midas, and Slark with free farm in this game. The panel did say though he does have a little bit of trouble sticking on some targets, but this is a good Slark game if he's ever able to versus that Ember Spirit. And it's one of those like weird matchups versus the Troll too. It's like you can just like keep poking him and you just keep stealing stats and then like resetting and coming back into the fight over and over, and you work differently. You don't just straight man fight him. You come back and just keep building up those stacks over and over again. As Seb.
Still up for the setup onto Seb. Seb, he does have a Mango, RP and a Skewer available. But I may just have to accept his fate as he gets locked down by the pounce. He's actually going to blow the RP here.
No mana for Skewer, but they will need to chase him out for now. Well, at least accept.
There's not. He should certainly fall here. He's got no way to play out. He has a TP, but not the mana to do so, even with a tread switch. So he'll just accept his fate and turn around in front of PPD. Of course, PPD will be able to finish him off with the brain sap. Same time up top, Jarrett's there with the body blocks onto 33. The wraparound setting up for the ice path. As the 3 of OG will claim Sven's life. More golden action for RCW up top.
He is really struggling. 1,600 net worth. If you look at Seb, Seb has 2,700 on that mag. Sure, he just died. He's having just an infinitely better game already.
I mean, you sort of look at the 6 cores in the game. 5 of them, they're sort of sitting at 40 CS. He's only sitting at 20, so 33 just falling behind. His lane getting taken over as OG will push on. Be able to claim this tier 1 tower top, as there's very little NiP can do at this point to stop this early sort of push coming in with the Troll, having the Jakiro and the Nyx Assassin by his side.
That is not the place you want your core Sven to be at all in this type of game. We've seen this hero suffer tremendously at this tournament, and this time it's been playing it's being played as being slowed down so much.
With the wards down, they see Saxon. Saxon tries to go for a stun on himself, but Jax won't be in range of it. The Sleight of Fist comes through. They do miss the stun with the Nyx Assassin, but still, a very easy kill for OG as the vision giving them information to set up for that kill. Still, space continues to be there for Ace. Has the Midas, treads very much nearly done.
And Fada is going to be that big playmaker that they that we saw, you know, midwin do. We saw hot play and he went for the Greaves build, but this time it's an 8-toast build for Fada, just like we saw. For him to just look for those setups. He's versed in Ember Spirit anyway, so it allows you to actually set up those type of ganks, and it's excellent versus the Troll. It's gonna be extra tanky on top of that too for the Viper. So he can be that front liner.
She's TPing down bottom here, Thompson. Gonna remnant forward.
Damage from the Slate. Even with that, I mean, it's level 4 in power. With solo item, it was significant damage still early on.
He's got eyes on Sax, so this is the easier kill. As he can look to run him down, obviously doesn't have any points in the chain. But the other skills, if you can get on top, you really need the control. We'll pop this shrine just to sort of put OG off from diving from one. PPD has now been given the time to wrap around. Pop the sleep onto Notel, Seb. Empowering Thompson, Ace and Saxon, seeing if they can fight back. Saxon trying to line up the stun, does manage to get it out onto Thompson. Pounds forward as well, the ice path is out, controlling Saxon. With these cores empowered, they'll be able to cut through the Leshrac. Another kill for OG. Bada has also turned up to the fight, but they won't get back in there. The man down, they don't want to try and push the odds without the number advantage against OG. In fact, Jax, haste is sort of scaring Ace off, making sure that Ace doesn't come straight back towards this lane. As now OG with the 3 of them down here, they can look to try and pressure the tier 1 safe lane of NiP.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
7-4, 10 minutes. 3k net worth lead for OG. Really is just that 33 Sven that's sort of holding NiP back at the moment. That is, of course, one of the faster timings for the Midas on a Slark this event. Quite a bit as well. I think the 22 timing here for Ace.
NiP still wants to keep they still want to keep pressure up. They don't want this game to get to a point where it's too much of just straight farming, because sure, your Slark has a Midas, which is awesome, but you're playing into Troll and Ember with an Empower.
Yes.
So every time it slows down, they're going to just be benefiting more and more off the map, because they're going to be clearing those neutral camps much faster than the other games.
PPD steps forward. Slowed an ice path. Ace there to make sure Jerax isn't able to chase down, follow through the opening that Notel was trying to create.
Right now it is a bit of a catch-up period. We see Saxo, since he was only level 3 on the Leshrac, and it's near 12 minutes. They're really trying to make things get something.
Again, the aggression from this man, but the leash comes out. He's going to be stuck in place. He's able to remnant to the side. He now does at the back, but has one more remnant left, but 33's there with a stun. Right. As Thompson playing with fire and gets incredibly burned.
Way too over-aggressive there. Playing versus the Slark, you have to be careful. He can throw the remnant, but he can't jump to it till after that pounce ends. Next. Stalking here.
How many vision down on NiP? They're not aware of this. He'll hit with the Vendetta, striking straight up with the Vice Path. PPD get taken by the 2 supports, Jerax and Notel. Able to take it down, and it's creating a lot of attention towards this bottom. It's giving space for Seb and IOTW on the top half of that map to just continue farming on the Troll and the Magnets.
Yeah, I've been trying to look around to see if any stacks were made. OG actually doesn't have any, but on the side of NiP, they do have a couple double stacks for the Viper to even farm up.
Thompson, not to be put off from dying, he's straight back towards this bottom lane to join Jerax and Notel, take the tier 1 tower. He is ready to play aggressive.
Yeah, he has to be active, right? He's got a Troll in his lineup. The Troll doesn't want to be the one who's running around trying to make plays. It has to be that Ember Spirit with his Jakiro as well as that Nyx Assassin. Taking that space.
And then they're going to look for the setup. Jerax is coming in under cover Vendetta. Fada and PPD have to back off. They will get away.
The tanky Viper. And had more backup behind them with 33 showing up.
We managed to claim that tier 1 tower. It's going to push Fada very close to having the completed Rod of Atos.
Sab is actually just going for a straight pipe on the Magnus this game, since the majority of the damage from NiP early is magical.
It really is.
That Viper, I mean, Viper isn't really that physical beast. He's pretty much all magical now, so. They are keeping themselves at a bit of an advantage here. 4K, and Thompson playing extremely aggressive.
Gotta be careful. They have a Fiend's Grip available on PPD. They'll find the lead up for it with the stun into the Fiend's Grip. Thompson again dying on this bottom lane.
That was very aggressive. I mean, he does have the Remnant down, but yeah, like you said, they had maybe he didn't expect the 6 to be there on PPD. I mean, he did only just hit the 6, but still. It is 13 minutes, right? You kind of have to.
You got to be careful. I mean, it's sort of twice that the over-aggression of Thompson has been punished by NiP down bottom.
Saxa. He will probably get set up here top. He does have some gold to spend.
Oh. He is. Catch a little glimpse of him there, though. Seb will be able to clear out the trees with the skewer. Stun's going to be lined up by Jerax. Vendetta hit. He should surely have the damage. He'll try again for a bit of the Q. Stun's not going to connect. He's still running it off.
Spends his gold.
continues to dance around the tree line. He's... Oh, no, trying with the TP, but Jarex didn't see him. And with the shockwave, Seb finds the kill. Same time down bottom, Thompson and ILTW will get 33. Still struggling on this Sven to catch back into the game with regards to farm. 33 is just unable to find a place that's safe to be. Atos reveal from Pyjamas. They open up onto Seb. They'll commit as well with the Viper strike down onto him. He does have Jarex by his side, and with the Hood, he's pretty tanky against all this magical damage. Ace is trying to get the essence shifts going, but Seb, he knows that he can just go for the TP. There's nothing to cancel it. The Hood of Defiance keeping him more than safe and allowing him to get out. We'll play towards Jarex instead. Still got a Spike Carapace and a stun available. Spike Carapace will hold back Funnel for a little bit, but there's 4 members of NiP here. Stun from Saxa misses, but he'll be able to offer the body blocks to allow them to get the kill. Ace is able to even get in with the touch, so to get that extra stolen permanent agility.
Bounty runes coming up too. Looks like NiP will be claim 2 as well as OG claiming 2.
So yeah, 15 minutes in, still the slight lead for OG.
They're making pretty aggressive moves, and NiP is responding pretty perfectly, and they're keeping this farm up for their Slark. The thing is that, I mean, Seb is still just so farmed on this Magnus in comparison to the Sven. It's still that big differential there. But Slark is getting close to his Shadow Blade, which lets him make plays that much easier. 33 is going to have some backup coming in. Fighters there in time. As they look to strike upon the Sven, this time they are going to be punished for the poke. RTW pops the ultimate, still coming on to 33, but it'll be slept by PPD, held back. No-Tail will be allowed to TP out, but ILTW will not be quite as fortunate. As this time, the sort of what has been an easy kill for them for the most part ends up being a bit of a bait, as NiP are prepared to help out 33 this time. This Viper pick just seems to be so perfect right now for NiP, even though the team is still, of course, incredibly close, but Fada is having a great game. 5-1 and 3, and he's able just to do so much around the map to set up for kills, even for the Magnus with that Atos. Yep. He's always able to make plays, and versus Troll. Troll playing versus Viper is not fun at all. He disables your passive, and he's got that hard BKB piercing slow that's always going to come out from the ult.
As he Thompson be able to take away a couple of ancient stacks there from NiP's half of the map. Saxa has been found as he was trying to poke around with Jarex deep behind that tier 1 tower. No-Tail is there with the backup, and they have more than enough damage. Claim themselves another kill onto Saxa. It's Thompson closing in on the Maelstrom money.
Ace, they do see the remnant right now from Thompson. If there's some way that they can actually force it.
Yeah, see if they can spook him. Butter is going to go with the real from the side. He may remnant as soon as the Rod of Atos gets thrown out, and he will. He goes straight across, but there was no one actually prepared for it, even though they saw it early.
Yeah, they saw it, but I guess like Ace was under vision, so he felt like...
As we say, just picks up the Shadow Blade. Now can start to look to begin things himself, and also can rely on the fact that he's going to have that extra mechanism to get himself out of harm's way if OG do try and chase and jump down upon him. It's Thompson may even himself have to start carrying some sort of detection if he wants to continue to play as aggressively as he has on the Ember Spirit.
They have to start making like more aggressive moves though. As you see, that net worth, it's still like 4K advantage. OG with these triple empowered heroes.
You can sort of poke at Seb. It's certainly not a kill that's going to happen anytime soon, and Seb is very, very tanky.
Now they're making their way toward top, so look to take an objective, look to force some reaction back from OG, because they still don't have that Blink Dagger on the Magnus for their big team fight combination.
He's very close though. Yeah. Pretty much head back and sell the Stout or the Quelling if he wants to grab it.
Could be a pretty easy power brought down to God's trying to get the edict.
These towers are going to help 33 at least climb back up and farm a little bit.
He's got back up decently anyway. Like, tried to do bracers.
He's getting there.
2k health.
Yeah, he's still able to do the job that they needed the Sven to do.
Yeah, he can just still absorb a lot of that Troll's damage, and then they can get their spells off. You just have to watch their positioning versus that Magnus, who now will have that Blink Dagger finished up. The good thing is they do have a Slark, so they can know when they're under vision, and they also now just made a pretty deep play, so they got some more down. But they are starting to protect it, though. Ace is in the air.
So gonna go. No-Tail is going to drop the sentry, so we'll see Ace. Ace is going to get caught out by the Ice Path. Did get the pounce off onto No-Tail in time, but No-Tail's got Jarex, Thompson, and multiple TPs by his side. Ace pops the Shadow Dance and will walk away. 33 is going to be trapped behind with the Ice Path blocking him off. Thompson and ILTW collapsing upon him. 33 will be left for dead here as OG clean up the Sven once again.
And Seb secures the last hit with the Blink Shot.
Sure he has that money. We'll see what he goes for next after the Blink and Pipe. As you mentioned already, an incredibly farm Magnus that's able to do so much, as we've seen. It's just this target that NiP can't really go on, but also this presence they have to be ever so aware of.
Their way in the Roche pit just off of that one kill. And I mean, look at Ace's mana. Ace is okay, he's got the shrine available, but Sox is at 100 mana. He is not healthy, and he does not have a TP. This looks pretty free for OG.
Gonna get it for free. I'll make sure Jarex will reveal outside of the pit. Thompson's actually going to head over and join the fight with him. They'll turn toward PPD. Blink forward from 7, skewer back. They'll grab the bait, drag him back towards the clutches of Roshan. Is PPD dead for 30?
Now they know for sure that this Roche is happening. They're starting to move the rest of the heroes over. Sox's TP is not available.
Fada's going to try. He's going to put the Renovados down onto Jarex. But OG would be more than happy to fight this set with the RP pulling Fada off the high ground down into the river. Fada will fall. I don't think this was a fight that NiP should have turned up to. They're going to lose 33. I don't know what the plan was there from NiP. I don't know if they had a plan at all.
They walked directly into the pit.
They don't have anything to fight with around the pit. They're walking into a team that has RP available. That was just the wrong move.
And Ace, it's not like Ace was the one who was running and giving information under the Shadow Blade. Ace was still like pushing out the mid wave. And as I said, Soxa, he didn't have TP available. He was running back to base, getting his mana. So they walked into that one with like pretty much like a 2 versus 1.
Unnecessary deaths there from NiP. And with the Roche and the Aegis going to OG, they'll step up to a 5k lead now, 20 minutes in.
And now they feel much more comfortable to just, they've already been sitting back and farming, but now it's like, uh-oh. That timer really starts to feel like it's there for NiP.
And look at this comparison here. Seth pretty much doubling the average net worth on this patch, as he is having quite the game on his Magnus. 200 CS.
He's double the net worth of
Sorry,
the Sven.
156 CS on this. Yeah.
Double the net worth of the Sven.
He is 33, still struggling to sort of build his first item. He's got the Vlads queued up, but it's not going to come anytime soon.
Is under attack.
It's just so much has been found here.
And all these low periods, like we keep saying, just is better and better for OG, and they're able to respond to it. And now, since they used RP in that last fight, they're fine with this being slowed down a little bit, 40 seconds until they have it available again.
You see Jarex with the Sentry, and they won't mess around. PPD goes straight for the Fiend's Grip. They will be back as Thompson jumps in. They'll lose the Nyx Assassin, but OG, they're ready to try and fight back. Ice Path won't quite clip onto any of NiP. PPD still trying to run away, but Thompson burns him down with the Flame Gun. Zen's going to look towards Ace. 33 has been dragged back with the Shockwave into the hands of Control as Thompson cuts him down. The root's down to Fada. Saxo will get the stun out to 2. Sep jumps across, he's holding the skirt, but now he doesn't need to use it, as Thompson has the damage to kill off another. Double kill for Thompson. The root onto another as they're on top of 33. Again, they're holding him in place. That's a dieback from 33, as now OG 9k lead, and easily taking these brawls that NiP are turning up to.
And that was without RP. Now they have RP available. That was them just running in and fighting with their sheer power and damage. NiP do not have the proper control. They're just getting ran at, and the Sven and the Lash, they're the two ones that are actually the control for the team fight for NiP, and they're just not able to when they're just getting like directly ran at. It's really hard as a Lash when these heroes are just piercing on top of you.
I was talking about the Sven and the Lash. It does feel that Saxa and 33 have just had a pretty rough game here so far.
10 deaths combined between the two of them.
0-4-3 on Saxa, 0-6-4 on 33. This is not one of their greatest showings.
ILTW now level 18, 6-2 and 6 on this troll. Full BKB and that SNY finished up, so he's feeling that much safer.
33 in the bottom 3 network. Bottom set will be spotted out. They're going to line up a perfect stun for Jarex onto the 2 of them, as that is Saxa dead again. ILTW committed with the BKB. Fada's caught on the front lines to fight for dead. PPD having to run back, but Thompson's in as the Nightmare's taken off him by Jarex. They get a 3rd kill, and OG, they're up to the high ground and hitting onto the tier 3s. As this game, it's a 12k lead at 23 minutes in, just like game 2. OG, they're making this game 3 look just as, if not even easier than the game 2 victory.
It snowballed so rapidly. Just that one little engagement. It was a 5k. It was 5k for what, 10 minutes, and then just boom. Once they've got that Aegis, once they get a couple more items, that Empower just becomes that much more powerful. And their team fight is just that much easier to do. NiP's team fight is just so lackluster. And Viper,
it really is.
Fada, if he just gets caught by anything, he's dead. There's no way for them to save him.
They don't have any team fight at all on it.
Shrine is under attack.
Their Sven being shut down so hard, like you said, 33 bottom 3 net worth. He's not that hero that you, like, usually it's like that Sven, you want to rally around him, but in this tournament, this hero has been struggling so much.
It really has. It just seems to be a cursed hero. It was sort of as the panel was saying before, the stats absolutely abysmal on Sven at the moment, but still teams insistent on picking it and trying to make it work. But 33 just giving a showcase as ever that this hero, there's so many situations now where teams have just sort of worked it out. They're not scared of it, they know how to lane against it, and if you don't sort of hit the perfect timing, have that perfect draft, this hero can look incredibly underwhelming.
Yeah, and it's like the shield doesn't really feel like it does a whole lot, especially versus this draft where OG has so much mixed damage. They have lots of physical, but also a crazy amount of magical to just go right through it. And they're continuing this pressure now with such a big lead. They can just run around now looking for hunting plays, and Thompson has a Phylactery. He's got a gem now too that they bought for him, so Ace, sure, he might want to run around with the Shadow Blade, but just jam already. No vision on the map for NiP, and OG's just gonna suffocate.
I mean, ILTW nearly level 20. You're done.
Look at this. Bottom wave is pushing in. They're already smoked, waiting for somebody to step up.
If anyone shows, Seb's just going to jump in and rip them out of the base. So they'll head up looking for the vision. They do have a sentry down, so Jarrett will be focused, but there's the skewer play. In they go. Seb dragging Butter outside of the base. Butter will fall. 33 as well will pop the ball cry. Does turn with the stumble with the BKB. ILTW just heads in. 3 dead on NiP.
They're hitting tier 4.
They are. There's 2 heroes dead without buyback. OG's pushing on.
And look how much damage they do with that Empower on these 2 melee cores that are so farmed already.
Goodness. I mean, every game this series has been a very one-sided affair, and this game 3 looks like OG will be the one to have 2 stomps going their way at this rate. It's a 17k lead. They've taken a tier 4 at this point, and NiP will still hold on. They do still at least have tier 2s in the 2 side lanes, but how do they come back from this?
How can they ever take a fight?
How can they ever farm at the same pace as with this Magnus lineup, as you keep saying? They have this lineup, OG, that just at 26 minutes, if they're 19k ahead, this draft of heroes just doesn't lose. Another fastest hit for Thompson, getting the Octarine in 9, 4, and 10. Sure, we saw some of his aggression get punished, but for the majority of the time, it's been incredibly successful. The way that he played the Ember Spirit, sweeping across the map, just constantly in the faces of NiP, has meant that they had no breathing room to get into this game at all. As OG ready to strike again. They smoke up on the bottom, Thompson straight in. They've got the catch onto 33 with the chains. Ice Path to follow up. Will be slept for now. PPD trying to give us some sort of safety to get out of there. But Thompson just continues to commit with the Flame Guard damage. Burns him down. PPD will manage to get the Fierce Grip off. But ILTW just heads straight towards the Bane with a BKB. 2 dead on NiP. They'll look at the tier 3 tower. They even diving far behind it. Thompson with a slide. Steps in with the RP onto 2. Dragging them back as NiP getting utterly dismantled. GG is called, and OG take the series, knocking NiP down and out 2-1. They let NiP sort of have that moment in game 1, and then game 2, game 3, they said we can do what you did to us, but we can make it hurt even more as they